Buongiorno Eurosport, sono Gianluca Beggio e sono in testa al campionato europeo e benvenuti alla seconda prova in Lussemburgo.
Welcome race fans to Eurosport's coverage, a continuing coverage of the European Kart Championship here, the second round in Luxembourg on the Mondercange circuit. Luxembourg now the seat of the European Community legal system. Beautiful city in this small country right in the middle of Europe, and 15 kilometers south of the city is the circuit of Mondercange. This is all part of the CIK FIA World Karting Federation 4-race series for the European Karting Championship. Two categories, Formula A, Formula K, both 100cc, the main difference being the size of the carburetor restrictor, 24 millimeters for Formula A, 32 millimeters for Formula K. We're looking at the series all year here on Eurosport. This is the second race. We saw the first one some weeks ago from Valence in France. This is Mondercange, Luxembourg on May the 10th. And we're looking at qualifying. Very, very close racing now. It's a sport very much for young people nowadays. Most of these guys from 16 to about 20 leading the way. There are a few older people, but some of them starting really young. Maybe this little fellow will be world champion in the year 2010. All these guys here eager to go future world champions perhaps. Interesting point that on Sunday at Silverstone in the opening round of the International Formula 3000 Championship, no less than 25 of the 36 drivers there had come from karting. This guy, the oldest man in the business, Max Buslinger from Switzerland, 30 years old, but there's also ladies. Here's Sophie Kumpen from Belgium, 17 years old, and this lady, Mari Radny from Sweden.
Hello, come in.
Mari Radny welcoming us into her motorhome and also saying hello to Lotte Hellberg. Charlotte Hellberg from Sweden, now karting's top lady, fourth in Valence. Here she is in action. Swiss Hutless chassis, Rotax, rotary valve engine. 50% of the karts have these engines now. Looking at Lotte Hellberg, working here in her kart. Getting ready for the coming battle here in Luxembourg. Very big business now. This man here, Dutchman Peter de Bruyn, 1980 world champion. He beat Ayrton Senna to the 1980 championship. He's a man who knows what it's all about. He's now one of the top Rotax tuners in the world, looking after Hellberg's engine personally. We asked Hellberg how she discovered karting and started.
It was not so difficult because I have two brothers that was racing, and I have been at the track when I was 4 years old, and I had my first go-kart when I was 5. But I started then with motorcycles, and then I was 12, I started with go-kart, so that's it.
It's a sport that's dominated by men. There's 3 girls racing here. We ask her again, how do you get on in this sport where the men seem to be the dominating?
Like in Sweden, was no problem. But when you come outside to Europe, in the beginning you feel it very hard. But now I drive, this is my 4th year, and now I don't think about it.
This young lady's already been offered a Formula 3 drive. We asked her to tell us more about that.
They wanted me in Japan, and they wanted me in Italy, and then come now again in Valence and ask me. But I say, yeah, for a few years I wanted, but now if I want to go there, I also want to go Formula 1. I don't want to go Formula 3, 2 years, and then stop. When I can go with this 2 or 3 years and go around the world and have a lot of fun, so that's it.
We've heard what Lotte Hellberg thinks about the men. What do the men think about her?
She's nice. A good driver. I think she's one of the fastest. Yeah. She's a quite good driver to be a girl.
I want to be the world champion in karting this year.
A lot of understatements there. This girl, who was the 1991 Scandinavian champion, 85 and 89 Swedish champion. Here's the presentation of the drivers, 117 drivers from 17 nations, from 3 continents, and a good British contingent again. We'll be hearing more about them later on as the racing continues. So the drivers from each country lined up for the traditional presentation before the start, and the president of the FIA-CIK, Ernest Husser of Germany, there welcoming the only Hong Kong delegate. Hong Kong, of course, a country that has hosted a lot of kart Grand Prix. So let's look at the Formula A standings after Valence. 27 points to Perilla, Daniel Perilla, Jarno Thierry there second, Patrice Gay, Baz Linders, Michael Simpson, Alessandro Zanetta. And on pole position for the pre-final, Baz Linders. Baz Linders from Brie in Belgium, 16 years old, is a student and a karate fan, he tells us. Has raced Formula Renault. He's leading the pack on the warm-up for the pre-final. 860 metre circuit, just short of a kilometre. They're going to be doing 29 laps, which is 25 kilometres. They're coming onto the start-finish line. The lights are red. They go to green, and straight into the lead goes Pietro Antonelli of Italy. Antonelli straight in front. Then there's Ortolano, 17 years old. Antonelli leading. He's been racing since 1985. He finished 4th in Valence in the Formula A category. And at the moment he's holding the whole pack behind him. Antonelli 171 behind him there. 122 is Daniel Perilla. (127). Poppy Sajala from Finland. There's 3 breaking away at the moment. Sajala into second place, past Perilla. Gianni Berti there, Nicola Gianni Berti from Italy, fastest lap already. A lot of pushing and shoving going on here. Formula A, we were telling you earlier, 100cc, 24mm restrictor. They rev to about 19,000 RPM, 25 horsepower, good for 100 miles an hour on the longer circuits. And there's the gap between the 2 leaders at the moment, Antonelli and Perilla, just 1.9 seconds. You can see the gap for yourself there. So Perilla at the moment leading. Very, very close racing. Racing that leads to Formula 3 and eventually Formula 1. And at the moment, those 2 men, Pietro Antonelli, really pushing Daniele Perilla. Perilla from Milan, 16-year-old student. Mari Chassis Ital system, kart on Bridgestone tyres. He finished 2nd at Valence in the Formula 8, having won the pre-final. 1 lap to go. Who's going to win this race? It's very, very close. Perilla. And there is the finish. Perilla takes the win from Gianni Berti, who just came through late there. Antonelli, Candilarci, Pedemonte and Zanella. So very frantic first race there, but Daniel Perilla, 16-year-old student from Milan, takes the win. Bodes well for later. Here we are on the rolling lap now for the Formula A final. Lining up on the grid, the red flag's waiting there. That's the rolling lap. They're going to be given a push start in a moment, and while they're getting ready for that, we're going to take a short break. Please rejoin us here at Mondercange, Luxembourg in a couple of moments.
Eurosport.
Hello, babe. Get ready with pen and paper. This is the Hits of Rock and Roll, a special offer only available by phone. 101 hits of rock and roll on 5 terrific records, tapes and compact discs, all at the same amazing price. There's unforgettable stars like Buddy Holly, Eddie Cochran, Paul Anka, Dwayne Eddy, Fats Domino and Little Richard. 101 hits including 91 top 10 hits and 43 #1 hits. There's Gene Vincent, Carl Perkins, The Platters, The Chiffons, The Everly Brothers, Bill Haley and Ricky Nelson. 101 hits of rock and roll. 5 albums, all for the sensational price of $29.99. Cassettes and compact discs in this terrific nostalgic presentation jukebox. Chuck Berry, Cliff Richard, Billy Fury, Del Shannon, Dion the Big Bopper and Jerry Lee Lewis. Phone one of these numbers to get your hits of rock and roll. 101 of the greatest rock and roll hits on 5 albums for only $29.99. Phone now.
NEC Transworld Sports. This is a special broadcast on Eurosport. A weekly rendezvous that combines the latest highlights and news from every facet of worldwide sporting activity. Here and only here on Eurosport. Transworld Sport is brought to you by NEC.
Transworld Sport, Thursday, 11:30 p.m. here on Eurosport.
Welcome back to Eurosport's coverage of the second round of the European Karting Championships here at Mondercange, Luxembourg. We're on the grid for the A final. On pole position, Daniele Perillo of Italy. Alongside him, Nicola Giannaberti of Italy. 14th on the grid, James Matthews from Newark in Nottinghamshire, son of Dave Matthews, the broad-speed saloon car racer in the 70s, very well-known name. James has been karting since he's 11, won the British Super 1 Championships for juniors, Yorkshire Championships, had many other wins throughout Britain. We're watching him today. James Matthews, 142. Also on the grid, 21st, Gary Chapman of Britain, and Darren Manning on 26th position on the grid, 25 laps ahead of them. So 29 laps, 25 kilometres on this 860-metre circuit. Very nice circuit here at Mondercange, as you can see. Very, very demanding, twisty, not a flat-out circuit by any means, but just right. Remember, these karts have only 2 sets of slicks, 2 sets of rain tires for the whole meeting. It was wet in practice. They got their 2 sets of slicks today, and they're just coming up to the start-finish line. We're waiting for the lights to go green. They mustn't start racing till they cross the yellow line after the lights go green. Looking at Perilla, Gianniberti, Candiracci, Antonelli all on the front there. Coming up to the start-finish line for the final of Heat A. Lights are red. Lights go to green, and straight into the lead goes 112 Nicola Giannaberti, and already someone's off there. We couldn't see who that was, but Giannaberti out in front, straight from the final. He jumped straight through from the front row position. Giannaberti from 122, that's the winner of the first race. Daniele Perilla, and behind them 151 Alberto Pedemonte from Genoa. So it's Italians 123 at the moment. Streaming out along this circuit. 112 Nicola Giannaberti. And there's a big move by Perilla. Perilla goes through on the inside, goes streaking past on the inside. Pedemonte still third. Fourth, Baz Linders, we saw earlier racing. Baz Linders, who started the pre-final in pole position, but this is the big battle up front, and here they are, they're real attack here. 122, 112, Daniele Perilla and Nicola Giannaberti. Perilla in front at the moment, just as he was in the pre-final, seemingly controlling this race from the front at the moment. Having a quick look behind, a lot of action going on behind them. Just notice the way, by the way, they put the hand over the carburettor just to richen the mixture up on those slower bits so they don't burn the engine, make it too lean. But here they are streaming on through the field. Perilla from Giannaberti. Giannaberti, known as Sparagnas to his friends. We don't know what the nickname means. He's from Piacenza in Italy. Perilla there, getting the fastest lap at the moment. So Giannaberti, 16 years old. He's been racing since 1988. He was Italian junior champion that year, 4th in the European Championships last year, and 2nd in the Hong Kong Grand Prix. There's his life history. Whereas Perilla, also 16, 2nd at Valence, as we told you. The race in France last month, the opening round of the championship, the Bridgestone-backed DIK FIA European Championship. But Perilla definitely commanding his race. There's the order: Pedemonte 3rd, Zanella 4th, Hoff 5th. Rennie Hoff, Danish from Copenhagen, 17 years old. But these two at the moment commanding all our attention. What a battle between these two guys. 122, we're on the 3rd lap. 122, Daniel Perilla. 112, Nicola Gianniberti. And these two now pulling away ahead of the rest of the field. Alberto Pedemonte still third. Behind them, 152. Alessandro Zanella. Big gaggle for third place behind him. Zanella at the moment third. He's just moved up there ahead of Pedemonte. But just look at these two climbing all over each other around the Mondercange circuit. Still Perilla from Gianniberti. Both 16 years old, and if they're racing this hard, this early in their careers, think what they're going to be like in 5 years' time in Formula 3, Formula 3000, or even Formula 1. 26 of the current Grand Prix drivers all came from karting, including Ayrton Senna. He was twice second in the European and World Championships, never quite won them. But look where he is now. Going back to Silverstone on Sunday, the International Formula 3000 race, Jordi Jean, who won that race, he started in karting. He was the Spanish champion in '88, and he won his first Formula 3000 race, having finished second last year in the British Formula 3 Championship. And the man who won the championship last year is a change of lead while I'm talking away there. 112, Gianniberti goes into the lead from Perilla. Quick change of lead there. These two swapping places all around the circuit. Each time they come by the finish line, they have probably changed position twice a lap. And just look at the way these two are pulling ahead now. We are looking at real class here in Formula A. Rotax being the most popular engine in this category. But here we're looking, the man who's leading here at this very moment, 112, Gianniberti. He has Rotax, but Perilla behind him has Ital system. Gianniberti, Tony Kart, Perilla, Mari, chassis. And there's absolutely nothing in it. And right behind them, coming through the order there, 161. Nikolai Olsen from Denmark, Calicut, Rotax. 151. Alberto Pedemonte. Pedemonte's right up with them now. Look at this battle. 152. Zanella as Alessandro Zanella. 160 there. Jesper Karlsson. Jesper Karlsson of Denmark coming through now. Karlsson from Vard. He's 16 years old. He's a student from a commercial school. He's been racing since 1986. That's 160 we're just looking at. Scandinavian champion in 1991, Danish champion 1988, and he won the German Grand Prix junior section in 1990. So current Scandinavian champion Jesper Karlsson from Denmark. 20 laps to go, 9 behind us. And still out front is Nicola Gianniberti, who is behind this huge gaggle of karts, fighting for all these places. Looking for 142, James Matthews. He is now up to 8th place. Matthews up to 8th place after 9 laps. Having a good race. He was unlucky in practice. It was raining a lot. He set his times earlier, then the track was drying out. A lot of late starters went out on slicks, and he eventually qualified 38th. But he started the final from 14th, and he's moving up towards 7th now. 160, Jesper Karlsson we're looking at. Very good race for the Scandinavian champion, CRG chassis, Perilla engine. He's on Vega tyres, as is Gianniberti, our race leader, while Perilla in 2nd place on Bridgestone tyres. 3 choices of tyres, Dunlop being the 3rd. Gianniberti, Perilla, Karlsson, not Charleston, that should read. That's the race classification at the moment, and it's changed again. Perilla's gone in front again while we're looking at that caption. Perilla on the Mari Ital system from Gianniberti on the Tony Rotax, and still 3rd at the moment Jesper Karlsson of Denmark on the CRG Perilla. So it's 3 chassis, 3 different engines in the first 3 places. That's how competitive this racing is this year. Hunch right down low over those little tiny fairings they have at the front just to get the maximum aerodynamics out of those karts, sitting up to help braking into those corners. Maximum speed of 100 miles an hour, not at this circuit probably though, because it's very tight, very twisty here. No gears, remember. Chain drive. Very, very impressive display by these two out front. Never quite touching, they're together all the time, the two Italians. One from Piacenza, the other from Milan. And alongside he goes through. Gianniberti goes through on the inside, but no, Parilla takes a long, long way round the outside and keeps that lead. As we told you, it changes once or twice every lap, sometimes out of sight of the start-finish line. 40 seconds a lap. How the computers keep up, I do not know, but they seem to manage to. Looking further down the order, we see that James Matthews now up to 7th place. Producers so busy on this lead battle, we haven't seen James yet, but rest assured he's there in 7th. And still this great big battle going on between Daniele Parilla and Nicola Gianniberti, two Italians, both 16 years old, both heading for something much bigger. After year Formula A, they have the option to move up into Formula K. They'll be 17 next year, both of them. They can either do that, or they can go into Formula Ford or Formula Fiat or whatever takes their fancy. But at the moment these men are dominating Formula A kart racing on the European circus. Looking behind there, not a very sensible move sometimes. You have a quick look back, you don't look where you're going, and the man behind you takes a dive. Very difficult leading from the front when it's racing this close. Let's have a look further back down the field. James Matthews is slowing slightly. We think he's got an understeer problem. And further behind him, Darren Manning. He's dropping back down through the order. Gary Chapman, who started from the grid in 21st place. He's fallen back down to about 25th place. There's the top 6. Parilla, Gianniberti, Carlson, not Charlton, as they keep telling us. And low over those karts. He's in front again. Gianniberti's made it, he's through in front. Now this is wonderful racing, they're just swapping places every lap now. A bit of bumping there, Parilla giving a big shove in the back. Luckily these Nerf bars mean that nothing worse than perhaps a bit slowing down usually happens. And another go at him, it's right up behind him, almost into his exhaust system, but at the moment Gianniberti, Sparagnas as he's known to his friends, holds the lead. Not for nothing was the 1988 Italian champion. Very sobering thought when you think that was 4 years ago. He was 12 years old when he did that. And Parilla goes through again. Parilla takes the Mari Ital system kart straight past him again. And for the moment at least, Parilla seems to have a little tiny bit of breathing space. Two of them still tied together around this Mondercange circuit here in Luxembourg. Second of the 4 rounds of the 1992 championship. Other races coming up in Italy. The World Championship finishes in Italy. Belgium is next in June, Holland in July, which is the final, but the World Championship, Ugento, Italy in September. And England gets its own championship round, the Intercontinental Championship at Wigan in August. So for the moment, these two, 1-2-2, Parilla still in the lead, Gianniberti 1-1-2, flying second, very, very close. This is Ital system against Rotax Power. 25 brake horsepower from these engines at 19,000 RPM. Karts weigh 135 kilos, with the drivers looking at some of the tail enders there, 151, 152. I say tail enders, they're actually fighting for 3rd and 4th places. Alberto Pedemonte, René Hoff, Jarno Thierry, fighting for these places, jumping up and down. This man just looking for more power there. He really needs more power. René Hoff from Denmark closing in on him. René Hoff from Copenhagen, 17 years old, says he loves karting and girls. been racing since 1985. He was 6th in the European Junior Championship. He was the Danish National Junior Champion in 91. That's that second man we're looking at, 151 Alberto Pedemonte from Genoa, 17 years, also from Italy. He loves motocross and skiing, but at the moment doing very well in karting. Carli chassis, Rotax engine, Dunlop tyres. He was the regional champion in his part of Italy around Genova, 88, 89 and 91. As we look at these two 17-year-olds battling it out, one from Denmark, one from Italy. But then out front again, there we have still this man Perilla from Gianniberti, Carlson third, Pedemonte fourth, Hoff fifth, and Zanella, Alessandro Zanella sixth. Please rejoin us after this break to see what happens as this man leaves us.
Eurosport.
Here it is, the EasoStar competition. Win one of the 20 fabulous tracksuits as worn daily by the famous tennis player Martin Haiti. Plus the all-purpose EasoStar workout sports bag. Finally, 2 lucky final draw winners will win a fantastic trip with American Airlines. Take your chance to travel with American Airlines from Europe to your favorite destination in the USA. American Airlines, daily to the USA from 14 European airports from June 1992. Just answer this simple question. Who won the German Open tennis tournament in Hamburg in 1991? Choose between these 3 solutions. Emilio Sanchez, Karol Novacek, Magnus Gustafsson. And answer with your complete address and size. Medium, large, extra large, on a postcard please before the 24th of May to this address. Winners of the American Airlines flights will be announced during the Eurosport news show on the 26th of June at 9:30 p.m. on Eurosport. EasoStar, the fast isotonic thirst quencher, wishes you good luck. Striving to reach your true potential is what the Olympic Games is all about. Rico did just that by establishing the world's first Olympic fax network. Now we are linking the world in almost 170 countries across the globe. The Olympic fax network of Rico.
Welcome back to Eurosport's coverage of the second round of the European Karting Championships here at Mondercange in Luxembourg. We are looking at our race leaders, 1-2-2 there. Daniele Parilla from Nicola Gianniberti, 112, way out in front of the field now. There's just 7/10 of a second between these two. While we're looking further back in third place for Jesper Karlsson of Denmark, fourth Alberto Pedemonte of Italy, fifth René Hoff of Denmark, and sixth Jarno Thierry of Belgium. What's happening out front? We can see for ourselves what's happening behind. I hope what producers will let us see in a moment, because there's some incredible racing going on here in Luxembourg on this sunny afternoon. 5 laps to go. Parilla looking very, very strong now. He was second in Valence. He won the pre-final in Valence. Having a very, very good day. Won the pre-final today, and the way things are going, he's going to win the final too, which I think will put him very, very firmly in the lead of the Formula A Championship. 112, Gianniberti, I think, giving up a little now, just letting Parilla get away. Gaps widening, maybe Gianniberti's tires are going off. It's up to 1.4 seconds now. There I think we're looking at, who we're looking at there, 103, Jarno Thierry, the former junior champion. Jarno Thierry from Belgium. But this man, Daniele Parilla, putting his stamp on the whole meeting in his Daniele Parilla putting his mark on this whole meeting. 3 laps to go. Perhaps Gianniberti closing just a little now in the closing stages. Behind them, Karlsson, Pedemonte. We're looking at James Matthews further down the field. We can't see him, but we're looking at him on the computer. He has dropped down to 12th place. Looks like he had an understeer problem, so looks like a 12th place finish for James Matthews, Tony Cart-Rotax. Darren Manning, also from Britain, has dropped to 25th at the moment in his Gillard Rotax. And Gary Chapman down to 31st, I'm afraid, in his all-British Gillard KTM kart. Gary Chapman has been having problems. Italian, I believe, used him as a brake in one of the heats. In the final he crashed out, so we're not seeing him now, but we are looking at this man, Nicola Gianniberti, in second place on his Tony Cart-Rotax. There's our race leader, looking like he's about to become our race winner, Daniele Parilla from Italy, 16 years old, and there's just nothing that the second place man, Nicola Gianniberti, can do about it. 1 lap to go, there's confirmation, flags out, checker flag waiting on the start finish straight on this 860 meter circuit. 25 laps just about completed, 29 laps, sorry, 25 kilometers. Daniele Parilla coming into the final corner, start finish straight, there's the checkered flag, and he takes the win for Mari Ital System. Second is Nicola Gianniberti of Italy, and third Jesper Karlsson of Denmark. There's the confirmation. Pedemonte finishes 4th, Hoff 5th, and Jarno Tiri 6th. In fact, not much change for the last 10 laps of the race. So that's Formula A over with, and we'll see the championship points in just a moment. There is Parilla getting his trophy from Ernest Buser of FISA. Nice bunch of flowers as well. I'm sure a young man like him will know what to do with those. Up comes Gianniberti. Second for Tony Cart-Rotax. And third, Jesper Karlsson of Denmark. Good race for Karlsson, 1991 Scandinavian champion. There he is. Takes the podium. There's our 3 finishers in Formula A second round. 2 more rounds to go after this weekend. So there's the points. Parilla 57 points. Tiri 34, Antonelli 27, Gianniberti 24, Zanella, who we didn't see much of in this race, 21. That's Formula A over.